Let me ask you something. Have you ever caught yourself thinking, but in English? Maybe while brushing your teeth, cooking dinner, or walking down the street? Or maybe you've never tried it, but now you're curious. What if I told you that this small, quiet habit, just thinking in English when you're alone, could completely change how you speak the language? Yes, seriously. No expensive courses, no grammar books, no native speakers, just you, your thoughts, and a little bit of mindset magic. Because here's the truth. Fluency doesn't only happen when you're talking to someone. It starts way before that, inside your mind, with the way you think when no one's around. Today's video is super real, super honest, and very close to my heart. I'm going to walk you through the exact process I used to turn my private thoughts into powerful English-speaking practice. And by the end of this video, I promise you'll know how to use your alone time to build real confidence. You'll learn how to turn everyday thoughts, simple, small thoughts, into strong English sentences. And once you start doing this, something beautiful happens. You stop translating and start thinking directly in English. And when that happens, everything else, speaking, listening, understanding, gets easier, smoother, and more natural. So, my dear friend, grab your notebook or your cup of tea. Get cozy, and let's begin this beautiful journey together. Let's learn how to think in English when you're alone, and how it will work for you too. Chapter 1. Why Thinking in English Changes. Everything okay, my friend? Let's start at the beginning, because this is where the magic truly begins. Let me tell you a little story. I remember the first time I tried to think in English. I was sitting alone in my room. It was quiet. I wasn't watching a video. I wasn't reading anything. I was just sitting there, bored. And suddenly a thought popped into my head. But it wasn't in my native language. It was in English. Something very simple like, I feel sleepy. And I paused. I looked around like, wait, did I just think in English? It felt strange, kind of cool, but also kind of weird. It was like my brain was doing something new, like trying on a new outfit. It didn't fit perfectly yet, but it was exciting. That one small thought became the start of a beautiful journey. Because here's the truth. Thinking in English is not just a practice, it's a transformation. It changes the way your brain works. It changes the way you see and hear the world. It opens the door to fluency. You see, most English learners believe that speaking is the first step. But that's not true. Speaking comes after thinking. Think of it like this. If your thoughts are in your language and you have to translate everything into English before speaking, there's always a delay, a pause, a little moment of stress. But if you can start thinking directly in English, then speaking becomes smoother, faster, and more natural. You don't have to search for words. They're already there because you already use them in your mind. Now let's talk about babies. How do babies learn their first language? Do they study grammar? Do they memorize 100 words a day? Number, they listen, they absorb, and slowly their little brains start making connections. They hear milk and they see the bottle. They hear mom and they feel love. After months of this, they start thinking in those sounds, and then, only then, they start speaking. And guess what? That process still works for you. Even now, as an adult, you just have to recreate it with patience, with repetition, and with trust. When you start thinking in English, even with small, simple thoughts, you are teaching your brain, hey, this is our new language now. Let's get used to it. It's like planting a seed. At first, nothing seems to happen. But under the surface, your brain is doing important work. It's building a foundation. And the best part? You don't need a classroom. You don't need a teacher. You don't need a language partner. You just need you, your thoughts, your voice, your quiet moments. Your alone time is not empty. It's powerful. It's your secret classroom. It's your private language lab. And it's always open. So here's what I want you to take away from this chapter. Thinking in English is the first real step toward fluency. Not speaking, not writing, thinking. Because once your thoughts become English, your words will follow. And even if it feels slow at first, even if you only have one English thought a day, that's okay. That one thought is like one brick, and brick by brick, you are building your English brain. So don't worry about sounding perfect. Don't worry about grammar right now. Just focus on this beautiful goal. Start thinking in English, one sentence at a time. Because when your mind becomes a safe, comfortable space for English, fluency is not far behind. Are you ready? Let's move on to Chapter 2, where I'll show you exactly how to start small and make thinking in English feel natural, even if you've never done it before. Chapter 2. Start small. Make thinking feel natural. Okay, beautiful friend, now that we understand why thinking in English is so powerful, let's talk about how to actually start. And don't worry, this part is simple, fun, and zero pressure. No big sentences, no long conversations, just small, everyday thoughts. Because fluency always starts small. Let me take you back to one of my very first English thoughts. I was holding my cup of tea and I said in my mind, I want tea. That's it. Nothing special. Just a basic sentence. But guess what? That tiny moment was a huge win. Because I wasn't translating. I wasn't thinking in my language first. I was just speaking to myself, quietly, naturally in English. So here's where you start. One sentence at a time. When you wake up, say in your mind, I am sleepy. When you go to the kitchen, I want coffee. When you sit at your desk, this is my laptop. When you feel cold, I need a sweater. These are your real thoughts. These are your real feelings. And now, they're in English. And don't worry if the sentence isn't perfect. Don't stress about grammar right now. This is not a test. This is you building trust between your mind and the English language. Think of it like talking to a friend who always listens and never corrects you. That friend is you. And when you talk to yourself like this every day, English stops feeling like a subject from school. It becomes your daily language. Now let's add a beautiful technique I love, narrating your life. Narrating just means describing what you're doing in simple English sentences. You're brushing your teeth? Say, I am brushing my teeth. You're cutting vegetables? Say, I am chopping carrots. The knife is sharp. You're cleaning your room? I'm folding my clothes. I like this blue t-shirt. These tiny sentences create a habit, a rhythm. And over time, your brain will start doing it automatically, without you even noticing. At first, it might feel a little weird. You might say something and think, ugh, did I say that right? But please, let that fear go. Because in this stage, being wrong is not the problem. Not trying is the only problem. This is not about being perfect. This is about being brave. Brave enough to speak simple English thoughts inside your mind, without judgment. Let me give you a quick example from my daily routine. One day I was doing laundry, and I started thinking in English. I don't like folding clothes. Then I smiled and added, but I like the smell of clean laundry. You see what I did there? I wasn't reading from a textbook. I was just telling the truth. In English. And the more I did this, the more comfortable it felt. It became a game. How much of my day can I describe in English? And you can play this game too. Start with one sentence in the morning. Then add another in the afternoon. Then one more before bed. You don't have to say it out loud. Just in your head is enough. Because every time you think in English, your brain is practicing. Your fluency is growing, even if no one hears it. And here's one of the most important things I can tell you. You are allowed to sound silly. You are allowed to make mistakes. This is your private space. No one's listening. This is between you and your English dream. Let the words flow. Let the sentences be broken if they need to be. You'll fix them later. Right now, your job is to build confidence. So here's your little challenge for today. Pick 3 moments from your day, morning, afternoon, and evening, and think one English sentence for each. Just one. Like, I am brushing my hair. I am eating lunch. I am watching the sunset. That's it. That's how fluency begins, with small, quiet moments. And remember, you don't need anyone else. You are your best teacher. Your thoughts are your practice space. This is where the real growth happens, not in a classroom, but in your own mind, one beautiful sentence at a time. Let's keep going. In Chapter 3, I'll show you how to turn those small sentences into longer, deeper thoughts, so you can grow your fluency step by step, naturally and gently. Chapter 3. Turn daily routines into English practice. All right, my lovely friend. Now that you've started thinking in simple English sentences, let's take it one step further. Let me show you how to turn your normal, everyday life, yes, your daily routine, into a powerful English practice tool. You don't need books. You don't need apps. You already have everything you need: your home, your daily habits, and your beautiful brain. Let's walk through a normal morning together, okay? So you wake up. What's the first thing you do? Maybe you stretch. You can think, I am waking up. I feel sleepy. I want 5 more minutes. See? Already that's 3 English sentences and you haven't even left your bed yet. Next, maybe you grab your phone. You can say, I am checking my phone. I have new messages. I don't want to get up. These are real thoughts, my friend, and now they're in English. You walk to the bathroom. Where is my toothbrush? I'm brushing my teeth. The water is cold. You look in the mirror. My hair is messy. I look tired. I need coffee. All of these moments are practice. You're not adding anything new to your day. You're just changing the language inside your head. Now you're in the kitchen. I'm boiling water. Where's the sugar? I like the smell of tea. You open the fridge. We have eggs. No milk today. I need to go shopping. You're cooking and thinking, I'm cutting vegetables. I don't like onions. They make me cry. See what's happening? You're turning your routine into a living English lesson. And here's the best part. Because this is your life, these words stay with you longer. They stick. They become part of your real vocabulary. When you think, I'm wearing my blue shirt today, you remember that word, shirt, because you're actually looking at it, touching it, wearing it. That connection between your action and your English sentence is what builds real fluency. Let me tell you something I did for months. I made it a goal to narrate my whole morning in English. From the second I opened my eyes to the moment I sat down at my desk, I spoke to myself in English. Not loudly. Sometimes just in my mind. And yes, sometimes I didn't know the word. Sometimes I got stuck. And that's okay. I would just skip the word or describe it another way, like, I'm using that thing for my face, the cream, the soft cream. That is still practice. You are still using your brain. You are still growing. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need a big vocabulary. You just need the habit of talking to yourself as you go through your day. Even getting dressed can be a lesson. You can think, where is my black t-shirt? This one is too small. I like this color. It makes me happy. Later, when you check your calendar, say, I have a meeting at 10. when you're walking out the door. I need my keys. Where are my shoes? Even your to-do list can become an English sentence. Today I need to clean the kitchen, answer emails, and call my friend. And the best part? You do all of this without stopping your life. No extra time needed. You're just living your day, but doing it in English in your mind. Now, maybe you're thinking, what if I forget to think in English? Great question. It's normal in the beginning. Your brain will keep switching back to your native language. So here's what helped me. I put little reminders in my home. I wrote "Think in English" on a sticky note and put it on my mirror, on my fridge, even on my phone screen. Every time I saw it, I remembered, switch to English, even just one sentence. You can also use alarms. Set a small alarm every 2 hours that says, English time. When it rings, stop and say one sentence about what you're doing. That's it. One sentence. But it builds the habit. So here's a little challenge for you. Tomorrow morning, from the moment you wake up until you finish breakfast, try to think in English as much as you can. Don't worry about perfect sentences. Don't worry if you repeat the same structure. Just try to describe your actions and thoughts in English, like, I am making tea. This cup is hot. I don't feel hungry yet. You'll be surprised how much English is already living in your day. You just have to let it out. And remember, this is a process. You don't have to be fast. You just have to be present. The more you practice this, the more your brain starts doing it automatically. So next time you're washing dishes, walking your dog, or making dinner, I want you to think, this is my English class right now. Because the truth is, your life is the best classroom in the world. Ready for more? In Chapter 4, I'll show you how to grow those little thoughts into full conversations with yourself. Yes, you can be your own best speaking partner, and I'll teach you how. Chapter 4. Silent speaking. Yes, it still counts. Okay, my beautiful friend. Now we're getting into one of my favorite secrets for practicing English. Silent speaking. Yes, I really mean it. Speaking without sound. Just moving your lips, or even just thinking the words in English. And believe me, it still counts. It works. It trains your brain. It builds your fluency. You don't always have to speak out loud to improve your English. Sometimes, especially if you're feeling shy or if you're in a place where you can't talk, like on a bus or in a public place, you can practice silently. I call this my quiet English practice. So how do you do it? Let's say you're walking alone. You look around and think in English. The sun is bright today. There are many people here. I like this street. It's peaceful. Now you're not saying it out loud, but your brain is working, forming English sentences. That's silent speaking. Or let's say you're waiting in line at the grocery store. You can silently describe the scene in your head. She is buying vegetables. He looks tired. I need to pay with my card. This simple habit turns boring moments into English practice time. Sometimes I even move my lips without sound. like when I'm washing dishes. I'll mouth the words softly, like, I am cleaning the plate. The water is warm. I love this soap smell. No one hears me, but I'm still practicing, and that's the magic. It's safe, it's private, and it's powerful. Now let me tell you about one of the most fun techniques I ever used: imaginary conversations. Yes, I would imagine I was talking to a friend, or even a celebrity, or just someone kind who wants to speak English with me. And in my mind, I would have a full conversation. Here's what it sounds like in your head. Hi, how are you? I'm good, thank you. And you? I'm a little tired, but I'm okay. Oh, did you work today? Yes, I had 2 meetings. This is such a great way to practice both sides of a conversation. You're asking and answering. You're using real, natural English, and you're doing it silently. I used to do this all the time when I was walking to the bus stop, waiting in line, or even lying in bed at night. I'd imagine I was calling a friend in English, and we were just chatting. You don't need a script. You don't need a perfect plan. You just start with a question and answer it yourself. And guess what? You're training your brain to think faster in English. You're building the habit of responding quickly, like in real conversations. And if you ever feel stuck, here's a simple way to keep going. Describe what your imaginary friend is doing or saying. For example, she is drinking coffee. She's telling me about her weekend. I ask her about her favorite movie. You can even make it fun. Pretend you're planning a vacation together, or having lunch at a cafe, or just walking in a park. Let your imagination play. That's how children learn, through play. And it works for adults too. Now, you might be wondering, but if I don't speak out loud, does it really help my speaking? Yes, 100%. Here's why. Even when you speak silently, your brain is still building the same language connections. You're practicing sentence structure. You're building fluency. You're becoming more comfortable with English. And here's a little science fact. Studies show that when you imagine speaking, the same parts of your brain are activated as when you actually speak. That means silent speaking is still real speaking for your brain. So here's what I want you to do today. Pick one time when you're alone. Maybe when you're walking, washing dishes, folding clothes, or just relaxing, and have a silent English conversation in your mind. Or move your lips quietly. No pressure, no noise, just you and your beautiful English thoughts. And if you feel nervous doing this in public, try using earphones. People will think you're on a call, and you can practice without feeling shy. Remember, there is no small practice. Every little bit counts. Silent speaking builds real fluency, one quiet thought at a time. And in the next chapter, we're going to take this even deeper. I'll show you how to connect your thoughts to your feelings and speak about your emotions in English, even when you're alone. This is where your English becomes personal and real. Chapter 5. Inner Conversations. How to Talk to Yourself. All right, my lovely friend. Now that you know how powerful silent speaking can be, let's go one step deeper. Let's talk about having full conversations with yourself, inside your mind or out loud, if you're feeling brave. Yes, I mean real conversations where you play both roles, asking questions and giving answers. It may sound a little funny at first, but trust me, it's one of the best ways to become fluent in English. You see, most English learners wait for a partner to practice speaking. But what if I told you, you already have the perfect partner with you all the time? That partner is you. You know your thoughts. You know your day. You know your emotions. So why not talk about them? Let me show you how I started doing this. One evening I was lying in bed and I asked myself out loud, "How was your day?" And then I answered, "It was okay. I felt a bit lazy, but I made a nice dinner, so I'm happy about that." That was it. A small, simple conversation, but it was mine. It felt honest. And slowly, I started doing it more often. Here's another example. What do you want to do tomorrow? I want to wake up early and clean my room. Maybe watch an English video too. Do you feel excited about it? Not really, but I know I'll feel good after I do it. You see, it's natural. It's not perfect, but it's real. It sounds like how people really speak, and that's what you need to practice. Now, let me help you get started with a few mini scripts. You can copy these and try saying them out loud or in your head when you're alone. Mini Conversation 1. Daily Check-in. You. How are you feeling today? You. I feel okay. A little tired but peaceful. You. Did anything interesting happen? You. Not really. I read a nice article and I made tea. Mini Conversation 2. Planning tomorrow. You. What's your plan for tomorrow? You. I want to go for a walk and buy groceries. You. What will you cook? You. Maybe pasta or something easy. Mini Conversation 3. Talking about emotions. You. Are you feeling motivated these days? You. Not much. I feel lazy sometimes. You. That's okay. What can help you feel better? You. Maybe some music or calling a friend. It's like a small play. You're being both people, but they're still you. And this is not robotic. It's personal. You can talk about your real day, your real dreams, your real thoughts. That's when English starts to feel natural. And here's a little tip. Don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about sounding smart. The goal is to keep the conversation flowing, like water. Don't stop. Don't fix every word. Just keep talking. If you need to pause, that's okay too. When I first started, I used to feel a little silly. I thought, am I really talking to myself? But over time, I started enjoying it. It was like having a little English friend in my head. a kind voice, a helpful one. Here are a few topics you can use when you don't know what to talk about. What did I eat today? What's something that made me smile? What am I excited about this week? What's one thing I want to improve? If I could travel anywhere, where would I go? And if you want to make it even more fun, try using different voices or emotions. Pretend you're your best friend giving advice. Pretend you're being interviewed. Pretend you're teaching someone. Make it playful. Make it yours. You can even sit in front of the mirror and practice these conversations like a little skit, or record them on your phone and listen later. The more you do this, the more natural it feels. And one day, when you're in a real conversation, your mind will be ready, because you've already practiced it 100 times alone. So my challenge for you today is this. Before bed tonight, ask yourself 3 questions in English and answer them. That's it. Just 3. Do it for 1 week and see how much more comfortable you feel with your words. Because real English fluency, it begins inside your head, in these quiet, honest moments with yourself. And next, in Chapter 6, we're going to explore a beautiful tool that changed my speaking forever: mirror practice. I'll show you how to use your reflection as your best English coach. Are you ready? Chapter 6. Emotional Thinking. Expressing Feelings in English. Hi again, my beautiful friend. Now that we've learned how to have real conversations with ourselves, it's time to add something even more powerful: feelings. Yes, emotions. Those small and big things we feel every day, like joy, stress, nervousness, excitement, love, fear, and hope. And here's the secret. When you learn to talk about your emotions in English, your fluency grows faster. Why? Because emotional language connects directly to your memory, to your heart. You're not just saying words anymore. You're saying what you feel. And that's where real speaking begins. Let me ask you something. Have you ever just sat down and said to yourself in English, "I feel tired," or "I feel happy today," or maybe, "I don't know why, but I feel a little sad"? These small sentences are so powerful. You are not just practicing vocabulary. You are building a connection between your real life and the English language. That's the magic. I remember the first time I said this out loud to myself. I feel nervous today. I have an interview. It wasn't a long sentence. It wasn't perfect, but it was true. And because it was true, I remembered it. My brain said, "Yes, this is real. Let's keep this." Let me share a few more examples from my old voice diary. These are real sentences I used when I was practicing alone. I feel lonely today. I miss my family. I'm excited because I learned 5 new words. I hope tomorrow will be better. I'm proud of myself for speaking English for 3 minutes today. I feel frustrated. I can't remember the right words, but I will keep going. Do you feel the power in those words? They're not fancy, they're not complicated, but they are emotional, and that makes them unforgettable. Now let me help you get started with your own emotional thinking practice. Try saying these out loud or silently in your head. I feel calm today. The weather is nice. I feel a little stressed. I have too much work. I'm thankful. I had a peaceful evening. I feel bored. I want to do something fun. I'm hopeful. I believe I'm improving. You can say these to yourself in the morning or at night or whenever a strong feeling shows up. And here's a beautiful tip. When you're feeling something strong, like fear or anger or love, pause and name it in English, even if it's just one word. For example, I feel overwhelmed. I feel free. I feel unheard. I feel inspired. This kind of thinking does something very deep. It teaches your brain that English is not just a school subject. It's a tool for your life. It's the voice you can use to understand yourself and to speak with the world, not just about grammar and food, but about what's inside your heart. And don't worry about making mistakes here. You're not writing an essay. You're being honest. That's the goal. That's the win. If you want, you can also turn this into a daily spoken journal. Every night, sit with yourself for just 2 minutes and say, one emotion you felt today, one reason why you felt it, one small hope for tomorrow. Here's an example I use often. Today I felt nervous because I had a meeting, but after the meeting I felt proud because I spoke clearly. I hope tomorrow I can feel confident from the start. See how gentle and simple that is? And yet so real. Another thing I love doing is connecting emotions with actions. For example, I feel tired, so I'm going to rest. I feel creative, so I want to write something. I feel sad, so I'll listen to music. This makes your thinking even more natural, and it helps you move from emotion to decision, just like in real life. You can also explore deeper questions with yourself. What am I afraid of? What makes me happy lately? What do I want more of in my life? Try to answer them in English, not perfectly, but honestly. And remember, your words don't have to be big. Your feelings are already big enough. So, my lovely friend, here's your little mission for today. Pick one emotion you're feeling right now, just one, and describe it in English with a sentence or two. That's it. Because when you speak your feelings in English, you're not just practicing, you're trusting yourself. And that trust is what gives you the confidence to speak to the world. In our next chapter, I'll show you how to make this practice even stronger by combining it with something surprising, your mirror. That's right. We're going to use your own reflection to help you speak with more confidence, more expression, and more joy. Are you ready to meet your new speaking partner? Let's go. Chapter 7. Create your thinking triggers. Hi again, my lovely friend. So far, we've talked a lot about how to think in English, what to say, how to feel it, and how to turn your thoughts into real, natural practice. But now, let's talk about something that makes all of this easier. Something that helped me stay consistent, even on the days when I didn't feel motivated. Today, we're going to create thinking triggers. Now, what are thinking triggers? Well, they're little reminders or signals that tell your brain, hey, time to think in English now. They can be objects, sounds, routines, anything in your daily life that gently pushes you to stop and speak or think in English for a moment. Let me tell you something real. One of the biggest challenges for English learners is not understanding the language. It's remembering to practice it in daily life. You're busy. You're tired. Your mind is full of other things. And it's easy to forget to speak or think in English, especially when no one's watching. That's why triggers are so powerful. They remind you, without pressure. They make English a part of your day, not a big scary task. And soon, these small reminders create a habit so natural it doesn't feel like homework anymore. It just feels like you. Let me show you some of the thinking triggers I used in my own practice and how you can create your own. First, the easiest one, a phone alarm. Yes, set a simple alarm once or twice a day, and don't just set a sound. Write a message in the alarm, something like, "What are you doing right now?" Think in English. Say 3 sentences in your mind. Describe what's in front of you in English. It takes 10 seconds to read, but your brain gets that gentle nudge, and over time, your response becomes automatic. Another trigger I love is sticky notes. Grab a small pack of sticky notes or paper labels and write simple English thoughts on them. I'm brushing my teeth. This is my favorite cup. Time to make breakfast. I feel sleepy now. Stick them on your mirror, fridge, closet, or even your laptop. You'll see them every day. And every time you do, you read, think, and say the sentence in your mind. That's real, valuable practice. Now here's a fun one. Habit-linked thinking. This is when you connect English thinking to something you already do every day. Let me give you some examples. Every time you make tea or coffee, say what you're doing. I'm boiling water. I'm adding sugar. Every time you wash your hands, think of how your day is going. I feel fresh. I'm getting ready to work. Every time you go for a walk, describe your surroundings. It's cloudy. I see a red car. Every time you finish a TV show or video, say one sentence about it in English. It was funny. I like the ending. The key is to connect English to real life, not just to books or study time, but to your living, breathing daily routine. And here's a super gentle trick I love. Doorway triggers. Pick one door in your home, maybe your bedroom door. Every time you walk through it, pause for just 5 seconds and think, what am I doing next? Say it in English. I'm going to cook. I'm going to lie down. I need to charge my phone. These are tiny moments, but together they build something huge. Here's something I want you to remember. Fluency is built one small thought at a time. You don't need an hour of practice every day. You just need lots of tiny windows. 20 seconds here, 1 minute there. That's what triggers help you do. They turn your busy life into a language class without any pressure. Another great idea: use objects as reminders. I once put a bracelet on my wrist and told myself, every time I see this, I'll think one sentence in English. That bracelet became my tiny English teacher. You can do the same with a ring, a notebook, or even your coffee mug. And don't forget digital triggers too. Change your phone wallpaper to a sentence in English. Set your lock screen to say something like, "You're doing great." Say one English sentence now. Every time you unlock your phone, it becomes a small English moment. My friend, you don't need motivation every day. You just need reminders. And these thinking triggers, they will remind you to show up, to speak up, and to keep growing, even when you're busy, tired, or unsure. So here's your small mission for today. Create just one trigger. It can be a sticky note, a phone alarm, a tea habit, anything. Just one. And tomorrow, create one more. Slowly, your day will fill with English, softly, gently, naturally. In our next chapter, we'll make things even more real. We'll step into the mirror, and I'll show you how your own reflection can become your speaking partner, your coach, and your biggest confidence booster. Are you ready to talk to the person in the mirror? Let's go. Chapter 8. From Thought to Voice, When to Speak It Out Loud. Hey there, lovely friend. Can you believe we've come this far? We've been building something beautiful, haven't we? From thinking in English to creating little daily habits, you're starting to see how powerful this simple practice can be. But now, it's time to take the next big step. Today, we're talking about speaking out loud. So far, you've been practicing English in your head. You've been getting comfortable with thinking in English, observing the world, and narrating your day in simple sentences. But here's the thing. Thoughts are like seeds. And to truly grow your fluency, you need to start letting those seeds sprout. It's time to speak those thoughts into existence. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Wait, but I'm not ready to speak. What if I make mistakes? Isn't speaking in English too scary? Trust me, I've been there. But here's the good news. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be fluent yet. All you need is to start. Speaking out loud is like turning your thoughts into flowers. They were always there, but now they bloom. And that's the beautiful process of learning a language. When should you start speaking? The key moment to start speaking out loud is when you feel comfortable thinking in English. If you can easily narrate what you're doing or what's around you in your head, then it's time to speak. Don't worry about speaking long sentences or perfect grammar. Just speak what you're thinking. For example, if you're thinking, "I'm walking to the kitchen," then say it out loud, "I'm walking to the kitchen." Easy, right? Yes. Start simple, just like that. Mirror speaking, your silent partner. One of my favorite ways to speak out loud is using a mirror. Mirror speaking is a fun and non-judgmental way to practice, especially when you're feeling shy or unsure. Your mirror becomes your best friend, always listening and never interrupting. Try this. Stand in front of the mirror and say one sentence in English. Look at yourself. Ask yourself a simple question in English. How are you feeling today? Then answer it out loud. I'm feeling happy because I'm learning English. Doing this every day, even for just 2 minutes, helps you get used to hearing your voice in English. Your brain starts connecting that speaking is just as natural as thinking. It also builds your confidence. You're practicing with no pressure and no one judging you. Voice recording, your personal language coach. If you want to go one step further, try recording your voice. It can feel weird at first, but it's incredibly powerful. Why? Because it allows you to hear yourself and listen for any mistakes or areas you want to improve. Here's what you can do. 1. Think of a simple sentence or question in English. 2nd, record yourself saying it. 3. Play it back and listen. How did you sound? Was it clear? Did you understand what you said? If not, try again. With each recording, you're getting more comfortable and more confident. This is how you train your brain to speak fluently. You can even do this with storytelling. Pick a short topic, maybe something simple like your favorite food, and try to record a 1-minute story about it. Listening to your recordings will help you get a sense of your progress and spot areas to improve. Whispering. Low pressure, big impact. Now, if speaking out loud still feels intimidating, try whispering. It's a great way to practice speaking without the full pressure of speaking loudly. Whispering also helps you focus on forming the words correctly without worrying too much about being heard. Next time you're doing something like cooking or walking to work, whisper the English sentences you're thinking. I'm cutting the vegetables. Where did I put my keys? Even if it's soft, your brain is still working to produce the words and make the connections. Combining thinking and speaking, your 5-minute routine. Here's a little trick that helped me, a 5-minute daily speaking routine. This is your sweet spot, where you can combine both thinking and speaking. And trust me, it's magical. Here's how it works. 1. Start with 1 minute of thinking in English. Narrate what you're doing or describe something around you. 2. Then speak it out loud. Take another 1 minute to speak those thoughts. 3. Repeat the cycle. Think for a minute. Speak for a minute. 4. Finish with whispering for the last minute if you want. No one has to hear you, but your brain is still getting the practice. It's only 5 minutes, but doing this every day, no matter how small, will boost your fluency like nothing else. And after a few weeks, you'll feel the shift. The thoughts you've been practicing in your head will flow easily out of your mouth. Remember, practice is the key to confidence. And remember, confidence comes with practice. It doesn't matter if your sentences aren't perfect. It doesn't matter if you make mistakes. The important thing is that you're speaking and training your brain to express itself in English. Each time you do, you get one step closer to becoming the confident speaker you want to be. So today, I want you to try this. Pick one thing you do regularly and speak about it out loud in English. Maybe it's your morning routine. Maybe it's a walk outside. Maybe it's describing what you see around you. Just speak. Even if it's just for 1 minute, you're making huge progress. In the next chapter, we'll take it even further, learning how to talk about deeper thoughts and feelings. I'll show you how to move from simple descriptions to more complex emotions and ideas. Ready for that? Let's do it together. Chapter 9. Tracking Growth and Celebrating Progress. Wow, look at you. You've made it all the way here, and that's a big deal. Seriously, you should be so proud of yourself for putting in the effort to practice thinking in English. You've taken small steps, sometimes even big leaps, and now it's time to take a moment and reflect on how far you've come. Fluency is a journey, not a destination. And today, I want to help you see that. We're going to talk about how to track your progress, celebrate your wins, and remind yourself that every little step you take brings you closer to your goal. Tracking your thinking journey. One of the most powerful ways to keep moving forward is to track your progress. This will not only help you see how far you've come, but it'll also give you a boost of motivation when you feel stuck. Here are a few simple ideas to track your growth. 1. Write 1. English thought a day. Every day, make it a habit to write down one sentence in English that reflects your thoughts. It could be something simple like, "I'm feeling happy today," or something a bit deeper like, "I hope I get better at speaking English soon." This doesn't have to be long, but it should be real, something that comes from you. Over time, you'll notice how these thoughts evolve. At first, they may be basic, but soon they'll get longer, richer, and more complex. This is a clear sign of your progress. 2. Voice recording. Weekly. Once a week, take a moment to record your voice. You can talk about anything, your day, your goals, a story, or even your thoughts on the chapter you just read. Listen to your recording after a few weeks and compare it to your earlier recordings. How do you sound? Are you speaking more naturally, Are your sentences flowing easier? This is a powerful way to track your speaking progress. You'll be able to hear your confidence grow. 3. Review your journey. If you've been following along and journaling your thoughts, go back and read some of your early entries. Pay attention to the language you were using. Have you moved from simple sentences to more complex ideas? Do you feel more comfortable expressing yourself in English? This reflection will show you how your thinking has transformed, which is often the most rewarding part of the journey. Signs of real progress. As you track your progress, pay attention to these signs of growth. They're the little things that show you're on the right path. 1. Faster. Thinking. When you start thinking in English, you'll notice that your thoughts come quicker. At first, you might translate everything in your head before you speak, but eventually you'll be able to think directly in English without that extra step. This is a huge milestone. It means your brain is starting to work in English, and that's the foundation for fluency. 2. Fewer translations. In the beginning, it's normal to translate from your native language to English, but over time, that process will become less and less necessary. You'll start to feel the words and ideas naturally come to you in English. Don't be surprised if you find yourself thinking in English without even realizing it. That's progress at its best. 3. More confidence. This is the most obvious sign of all. You're getting more confident. When you think in English, speak it out loud and start trusting your practice, your confidence will grow. The more you see that your thoughts are clear, your sentences are flowing, and your mind is comfortable with English, the more confident you'll feel to express yourself in real conversations. Celebrate every step. Now, let's talk about celebration. It's time to acknowledge how far you've come, no matter how small the steps seem. Fluency is not about being perfect. It's about being present in your practice. It's about showing up every day and taking those small actions that add up to big changes. Every time you think in English, even for just a few seconds, celebrate it. Every time you speak out loud, even if it's just to yourself in the mirror, that's progress. Every time you get a little better at describing your world in English, that's something worth celebrating. So don't wait until you're perfect to celebrate. Celebrate the small wins. Celebrate when you realize you've been thinking in English without trying. Celebrate when you say your first full sentence out loud. Celebrate when you start feeling like English is becoming part of who you are. Remember, fluency is not a finish line. It's a process. You're building something incredible every day, even on the days when it feels hard. So, give yourself credit. As we wrap up this journey together, I want to leave you with this. Don't rush. Fluency doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen by force, but with patience, practice, and a positive mindset, it will happen. Little by little, your thoughts will get clearer, your confidence will grow, and English will become a natural part of your life. So, my lovely friend, I'm so proud of you. You've made it to the end of this journey, but remember, this is just the beginning. Keep thinking in English, keep practicing, and keep celebrating every single moment of progress. You've got this. If you made it to the end, I want you to know you are already growing. Your mind is already becoming a place where English feels at home. And now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, what English thought are you having right now? Just one sentence. And if this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell so you never miss our weekly deep dives into real English learning. Let's keep building this beautiful community where English is not a subject, but a way of life. Until next time, keep thinking, keep dreaming, and keep speaking. You've got this.